All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we've got a red, yellow, Sabo update style video. We got a comprehensive update guide style extravaganza craziness video for red, yellow, Sabo. Whatever you want to call it, okay? It's one of those things, right? And we actually have a lot to go over today. We're going to be going over 9 games on the sim. I'm going to be showing off 3 different deck lists for us to mess around with, because I'm also going to be introducing a new community project for the red, yellow, Sabo enthusiasts out there. Okay, I know a lot of the people who watch my channel are really big into red, yellow, Sabo and potentially red, yellow, Bello Betty as well. Very, very similar deck builds with some of these decks. But whatever the case is, we do have a new community project lined up for you guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive straight into the video today. First things first, we are going to check out I have the Discord up in the background. We'll be able to check out where you guys can get a better idea of what's going on with this community project, where basically I want to try to find out what is the absolute best version of red, yellow, Sabo currently in OP09. And when OP10 comes out, we will probably be doing the same thing. So this will probably be like a once every 3 months thing, but it's going to take a month or two to compile each set of data to really figure out which version of Sabo is the best. At least I think. We'll have to see how things go. And who knows? You know, I'm very anxious to see what the results are going to be across each player, you know, into each matchup with each different type of deck. Okay, so that's the first thing we're going to do. That took a little while to explain. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to head over to the Discord, the VV Theory Discord, and check out what you know, the layout. After that, we've got 9 games on the sim. We have 3 games of me running an aggro version, 3 running a mid-range version, and 3 running a control version of red, yellow, Sabo. Okay, in no particular order. I don't know if it's in that exact order, but we'll be checking out the 3 different versions. Okay. After that, we will kind of summarize. We'll talk about it. I'll give you guys my thoughts on the current meta and what I think about OP09 in the West, and just going off the results we've seen already, and just stuff like that. So, you know, we'll wrap it up in that way. Okay, guys, I'll have everything timestamped in the general description. I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and stuff like that down in the comment section below. And yeah, if you guys know, if you ever have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to ask down in the comment section below, or to put those down there. Now, first things first, before we even dive into this game, let me move this out of the way. Let me go out of full screen and bring up the Discord. So this is just the VV Theory Discord. The link is in the channel description if you want to come hang out with us on here. We got a pretty awesome community, great mods, great people in here. We have a good time, and I have a zero toxicity, toxicity, and how do you say it? I don't do any kind of negativity on the server. Zero tolerance policy for that. Now, when it comes to right here, once you get in the server on the left side here, there's this tab called VV's Corner, okay? And in VV's Corner, as you can see here, guys, it's got a bunch of stuff here. This is where you can submit your game for the VV Labs and stuff like that under Review My Game. I post my new videos in here every single day, right? The new VV videos. People will post ideas in here for me to you know, maybe try out something like that. Here's the new format discussion for 3C2L. All kinds of stuff is in VV's Corner here. And for the VV Theory playmat, if you're still interested in getting those, I think I have like 15 left, guys. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty last little bit of that. Okay, but then I have this new tab here called Red, Yellow, Sabo Stats. Okay, do y'all see that? Red, Yellow, Sabo Stats. And I'm just going to kind of read through this, so this might be a little bit boring at first, guys, but bear with me. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. So it says, for those who are interested in helping me out with compiling red, yellow, Sabo data and statistics, this channel will be a place for people to post their findings, to post their results, right? I will have a YouTube video, the one we're doing right now, going over the information as well. Okay, and here's the things I want you to track, and we'll have an example down here, don't worry. I want to know which version of red, yellow, Sabo you're running. Okay, and we'll go over, I have some different versions for us to check out in a second. I want to know which version you're running. I want to know who you played against. Did you go first or second? Did you win or lose? And then, and then any notes you might have had. Notes would be something like, oh, I made a blunder and I messed up, or oh, my opponent made a huge blunder and I won very easily because of that. Stuff like that. We want to know stuff like that. If it's just a standard average game, then there's nothing to report, right? You can literally, you'll see when we get down to this example here, see how the note just says none right here? Okay, there was just nothing to report. And this is a made up example, don't worry. These are not real results. I just made this up for the presentation. We'll talk about that in a second. So real quick, so I want to know those 4 things. Those are the 5 major things. What deck you're running. And think of it like this, guys. We want very consistent, accurate data. So please do not change any cards in the deck. Like, you know, maybe do 10 games with a certain deck, and then you can post those findings and how you did, and then make revisions. Be like, okay, I changed this around for the next time you update. And guys, this server, notice, let me go down to the bottom real quick. It's open for anyone to talk in here at any time now. It's completely open for people to share their results and their findings. So if you've already been recording your findings, perfect, okay? Feel free to put them in here at any time, Now, real quick, let me keep going here. Oh, the 5 things. So I want to know the version you're running. I want to know who you played against. Did you go first or second? Did you win or lose? And then any kind of relevant notes. Like, oh, you know, say you're playing against Katakuri. I would have won, but they had a beige trigger. I would have, against an L, I would have won, but they had, you're the only one who should disappear trigger at the end, right? Stuff like that, okay? That's all we need to know. Now, the 3 main versions of the deck I want people to focus on for this project, okay? I want them to be a aggro trigger rush version. We'll look at that in a second. Very spicy. I got to give a shout out to Ricky G here on the channel. He put together a really spicy list, and we're going to check out a version of that today in today's video. Okay, so an aggro trigger rush version, a mid-range tempo version, which will be type-based. So in other words, I have Revo Army on here, but if you want it to be something more along the lines of like Big Mom Pirates, by all means do what you want to, but I want it to be a mid-range tempo version that's type-based, okay? And then a control version. Control would be something that's extremely focused on removal. Okay, notice I have here focused on removal, running cards like Ben Beckman, the 5-cost Nami, 8-cost Rayleigh, 7-cost Newgate, 10-cost Shanks, things like that. A very heavy removal version. It can still have triggers in there. It can still have rush cards and things like that. But that's kind of what I think of when I think of the control version of Red Yellow Sabo. It just wants to eat up the game, like playing Gadatsus and things like that. We'll just pop everything on the board, make it to the late game, and then we'll establish dominance there. Okay, so those are the 3 main ideas I want you to build around, or you can literally just use the 3 examples that I provide, and we'll go over those in a second. Okay, so these are the foundations of the decks I want people to build off of, so you can use them as a reference, okay? But make slight changes. Notice I put right here, do not be afraid to make slight changes where you see fit that better suit your play style. So for example, let's just look at this one real quick. This is just a removal control version. Say you don't really like Rayleigh. How could anyone not like Rayleigh? I have no idea, but you guys know, I'm just kidding, of course. But say you're like, okay, this is a little too slow, and I want to drop 2 Rayleighs and add 2 Newgates, just as an example, right? Or say you don't like the Capone beige, maybe you want to run a different 2K counter in that spot. No problem, but just make your version and then run at least 10 games with it against some meta decks we'll talk about in a minute, and get the results in before changing it and move on to 10 more results, if that makes sense. Okay, so with that in mind, these are the main leaders I want you to be concerned with. Okay, we're gonna go back to the decks in just a second. Don't worry, we'll go through all 3 of them that I have posted here. Just default like foundation level decks. The main leaders to be concerned with are meta leaders. Okay, if you go against a completely random leader, something like I'm trying to pick one. Like say you go against a ST06 Black Sakazuki. I don't really want to know information on decks like that are not considered in the top, you know, tier 1 or tier 1.5 only, pretty much, right? Don't want any tier 2 decks, tier 3 decks. Let's try to stick with the stuff that we could expect to see in tournaments, so that way we can give people give people a real chance who are trying to compete with Red Yellow Sabo at the highest level, right? So Red Shanks, Blackbeard, Purple Luffy, Katakuri, Blue Dofi, Enel, Bonney, Red Purple Luffy. I think he's right on the cusp, okay? Green Uda, Lucci, and Bello Betty. Bello Betty and Red Purple Luffy, people might be thinking, like, what's that all about? Yeah, guys, that is definitely a deck to look out for. And mirror matches is fine. If you run into another Red Yellow Sabo on the on the sim, that's fine. But I don't really care too much about that. It's typically going to be a 50-50, or it might even come down to like which deck ran into which deck. Like who knows, the mid-range deck might just always beat the aggro deck. The aggro deck might always be the control deck. We'll have to see. So I guess it would be interesting to post that if you run into the mirror match Red Yellow Sabo. That's fine as well. Okay, what else? Now, when it comes to your games, I would prefer it just be on the casual sim, okay? Because I don't know everyone's skill level who's going to be doing these recordings, and I don't have any problem with what your skill level is, whether you're a new player or an old player. I need to know everyone's results. So don't be like, oh, I'm not a very good player, so I won't do this. No. We need everybody's help. This is a community project. If you're a good player, bad player, somewhere in between, it doesn't matter. But I would prefer these just be on the casual sim. Okay, if you do like to play ranked, I know some people like to play ranked exclusively. That's fine as well. I don't have really any kind of problem with that. But at the same time, I am kind of more focused on just getting as much results in as possible, and I think this would be the best way to do it. It's just worrying about the casual, unranked sim. But if you have the ranked sim and that's how you like to do your results, definitely say that when you do your information, like whenever you submit it, like when, which version of Red Yellow Sabo are you using? You can put in here, the opposing leader, and then like have ranked in brackets if it was a ranked game. So that way you can have split results as well. Like, okay, this game was ranked, this one was not, this one was not, and so on. Okay, and then I should have more details on it soon. That's kind of what we're doing here. So real quick, just to kind of run through the decks that I just recommend to players who might not be deck builders, but do not be afraid to move these lists around a little bit. Like, oh, say you don't like the Yasop, drop the Yasop and put in something else there you like. Okay. Now, so here's the removal control version. Notice it's got the Lindbergh, it's got the Gadatsu, it's got the Rayleigh, Beckman, 5-cost Nami, and even the 7-cost Newgate. There's a little combo I'm kind of trying to work on here with Newgate, because if Newgate could hit a 7,000 power target, or excuse me, a 6,000 power target, it would just be so incredible. 7 would be incredible as well, but hitting a 6 is such a massive difference between a 7,000 or 6,000 versus 5,000 power, right? Well, if you go Yasop the turn before, if you're on the odd curve and just curve out with Yasop, okay, next turn with 7 Dawn, you can play out the Newgate and attach the Dawn to Yasop, swinging in, doing minus 1,000 to a 6,000 power character, and then pop it with your Newgate here. Really cool stuff there. I think I am going to show this version off in the video today. So this is one version. Notice it still has rushers. Say you want a few more rushers, no problem. Take out the Yasop or something and throw in like 4 Kid Killers. Do what you have to make it your own list, but just kind of go off these general ideas. So that way when you are posting your information, we kind of know what you're talking about. Like, okay, this is more of the aggro version. Okay, cool. This is more of the mid-range version, control version, so on and so forth. Okay, the next one is the mid-range version, or no, the Trigger Rush aggro version. We're going to be showing this off today. I got this idea again from Ricky G. I have to give a big shout out to him. He's one of the OG Red Yellow Sabo enthusiasts, like me and my buddy Mike. As soon as we got into this leader, he was already in on it too, and he's been posting some spicy decks ever since then that are really, really cool. And we're going to be checking this version out today as well. This is not his version, but I got major inspiration from his version to create this one. Notice this, guys. If it's not a trigger, it's a rush card. If it's not a rush card, then it's a 2K counter, and it probably still is a rush or like a trigger or something like that, right? So really, really cool stuff here. We'll talk about this more as we get into it. And then last but not least, this should be the mid-range version. This is just the pure Revo Army package. But one thing I've been messing around with a lot lately is a more, let me say it like this, it is a more Revo Army hybrid package, and in fact I'm just going to show that right now, since that's kind of what we're doing anyway right now. So let me just go over to the version I'm talking about. I call it the 75-25 list, because it's like 75% roughly Revo Army, and then 25% whatever else I think is needed to help deal with this format. So so this is a good example. So like say you're coming up with your version of the deck and you want to run Revo Army, and you're like, okay, this list is nice and all, so I'm going to go with this, but here's what I want to do to improve on it. And then like say you're like, okay, I want to move this around and put these in and put these in and put that in, and like change things around in that way. No problem. Just make sure you take a picture of it once you have it, and then run some games on the sim. And you can target people, guys. You can target people on the sim for these matchups if you're concerned about queuing randomly, like just doing a quick join game. Remember, guys, let me just kind of show some. Let me go back to lobby. If you're trying to find individual games, let me just use East for this example, guys. So here we go. Here's the list right here. I could literally click this lobby. Well, I'm glad it didn't go through, because I was just going to leave the guy. But like you can click on the lobby you want to go to. Sometimes it, like, notice my head's in the way. Hang on one second. Let me shrink my head down. Look right above my head. It says can't enter room. It's likely full. Sometimes that happens, and sometimes I've had it where it just will kind of just lock up, and I have to close out of the program and restart the program. But that only happens rarely, and it might just be my computer. It's probably just a small bug or something like that, but usually it works. So again, I'll just refresh the lobby. Oh, I need to play a game against Lucci. I'll click that with, make sure you have the deck that you're trying to run, and then you can just run that way, and you can target specific matchups. Really cool stuff there. So let me go back to the deck editor real quick and get that back to where I had it. So for the end of the video, I think I had it on I don't even remember, to be honest, guys. I'm just going to put it on this Pure Revo list for now. Okay. Now, so let me just go ahead and wrap up with the Discord information here. So those were the 3 decks that I recommend you guys try to start. But if you are very comfortable with deck building and you have your very own build you want to run, no problem, absolutely no problem. Run that and just say, hey, I kind of made my own thing. But at least give us an idea of how it's meant to be played. Is it meant to be more aggressive, more mid-range, going on a curve, or is it meant to be more control, where like I'm going to go into the late game and I'm going to win like that? Okay, so aggro for the early game dominance, mid-range for the middle game dominance, control for the late game dominance. That's just the main thing that we really need to know, because we're trying to see how to classify these things. Okay, so then last but not least here, I have an example. Notice what I say right here, guys. This is not actual results. It says an example of what your recordings might look like. This is just an example, not actual data. Okay, so I click on this. I did this in Notepad, guys. Look, this is literally what I just put it in Notepad, and then I copy, and then I screenshotted it. You know, you can screenshot a individual screen, like just where it says notes here, by hitting Alt Print Screen, and then going to a Paint program and just Control V pasting it, or Shift Insert pasting it. Okay, that's what I did, and then I cropped it and made it into a little bit bigger, because notice there's like no room over here on the side. So I just cropped it and gave it a little bit of space on the side just to make it look better. You can do it like this, or you can even do it like you know, just in the format of the actual in Discord. You know, if you want to just type out in a certain way that we all can understand. Okay. So yeah, good stuff here. People are starting to type up. I put this in like probably 20 minutes before this video, like 30 minutes before the video. So you know, people are starting to fill it in with comments and things like that. So good stuff. I'll check those out later. Okay, so that's it, guys. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. Any questions in regards to this compiling? We're just trying to compile as much data as possible, and I just want to know, you know, is the removal version the best? Is the trigger version the best? Is the mid-range version the best? And I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on this as we go through today's video, okay? All right, now we can get into some games. Very fun stuff. I'll have everything time-stamped, of course, in the general description, guys, where y'all can just hop around. Y'all already know that. But, you know, just to make sure everybody is, you know, just to make sure everybody knows. Okay, so here we go, guys. We got our first game, and these will not all be against meta leaders like I'm requesting for the data entry. This was just me trying to get out as many games as possible so I could get a video together for everybody on time. So real quick here, this is a game versus Green-Black Perona, and I will say this: Green-Black Perona is on the cusp, but I would consider them tier 2. They're just under what we would consider like meta. Okay, and let me see. I need to revisit Perona soon, guys, because I think she did get a few new toys in OP09. So, all right, so volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go, guys. So the first 3 games we're going to go over are going to be aggro. This is the new trigger aggro variant that I'm calling the rush aggro variant, trigger rush aggro, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so here we go. The game's going to start. Looks like I don't remember who goes first. We're about to find out. So I'm going first. I'm going to go 1 Dawn pass, and they are going to go. There's one of the new cards from OP10. I believe this is on the OP10 engine, of course, because of that. Or the actually, is that from OP09? I think I just messed up. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. That's from OP09, and this is on the East client on the sim currently. Okay, so check this out, guys. Tropical Torment. That card is spicy. So Tropical Torment is a 3-cost event. It's Big Mom Pirates searchable. Trigger activates the main. The main effect is if your opponent has 4 or more life, they trash the top card of their life. Okay, well, I just paid 3 and they just lost a life. They didn't get to draw it. It did not go to hand. It went to the trash, and it was a 2K counter. Now I'm coming in for 5. Very, very strong card there. Very good stuff. Okay, let's see what they decide to do. There's the card if you want to pause and read it. And really powerful card, guys. It's all the way back from OP03. It's just, it didn't see a whole lot of play. But, guys, against the 3-life leaders, it's actually very good. It's good against 4-life leaders, too, if they still have 4 life. But if it's not your opening hand, you'll probably lose value on it very quickly. All right, they were 1 life away from us being able to trigger that Kuma into play. But, hey, it happens. Going to swing for 6. They give us the blocker. And now we're going to play out the Inarashi here. This is one of the Wano triggers where if your opponent has 3 or less life, you can play it. And, okay, he taps it down, plays out Mihawk, cheating out the Ryuma, trashing or KOing, excuse me, my Inarashi, and that's that. Okay, I'm going to, they swing in. I get a Morley trigger. They're going to swing for 5 more. I do counter out of this one because I feel like I could have 1 more turn potentially. Okay, so right here, I think we're just going to stay aggressive. I don't want to waste my time attacking into that Ryuma. We're just going to go at face here. So 7 at face, Kid and Killer, 7 more at face. And then it's probably going to be an 8 to wrap it up. We'll push this guy back to life. Plus there, we'll go 8 into face, and this should go through, or it would take both cards in hand if they're both 2Ks. And here we go. I now have a 7,000 power character on the board. However, he will probably not survive. He will probably not survive, but that's okay. Okay, cost -1. He will almost definitely not survive. They're going to go Gecko, Moria, bring back a Cerberus active, and then an Absalom rested, so that way they can KO this 2-cost character now and not have to waste an attack. But here's the thing: if they choose to attack into me, they give me Kid and Killer back, and I can just swing in for lethal in that way, or force the blockers and all that good stuff. So we're going to swing in for 6, and we're actually just going to do this thing where we just basically set up for lethal no matter what next turn. 9 will go through no matter what. It cannot be blocked because of Luffy's effect, and they only had 2 cards in hand. Now they have 4 because they drew the last life card for the turn. I have 4 life. They attack in. Of course, I'm going to take the 9,000 power attack. And here we go, guys. I have 4,000 power counter in hand. They do technically have some attacks that can get through here. They do have some attacks that can get through here. They have to know that I'm going to just play Luffy out next turn. So I think they have to try to go for lethal. Swinging in for 7, I think I probably should have countered out of that, but I'd rather them fully commit first before doing that. So swinging in for 7, again, I'm going to take that. We get that trigger. That's less than ideal right now. That's just a dead card in hand, and I have a lot of bricks in hand, guys. Let's see what he does here. So I think I'm just going to 2K, and right here, if he actually tried this, he could have won the game by swinging for, but how could he know? I have 5 cards in my hand. If he had swung for 5 and then 7, or 5 and then 6, he would have won the game right there for sure. But as is, okay, we're going to swing for 6. He has to block, pause. So he had to block that because if he loses any counter in hand, he knows I have Luffy. I don't know. There basically was just no way. I think he should have tried to just go all in there, and it actually would have rewarded him in this situation. But at the same time, I think I also kind of messed up by countering out when I did, because what I think I should have done, let me just kind of show you guys. So he swung in for, well, no, if he swung in for 9, I would have lost. So maybe not. I don't think it's very intuitive to load everything on Cerberus in this situation. I just don't think it would be. And if it was intuitive to do that, he would have spread his Dawn very differently over the course of the attacks. At least I think he would. Okay, all right, well, that was that game, guys. That was a fun one. So now let's go ahead and head over to the next game, which is going to be versus Blackbeard. I do have a lot of actually relevant matchups today, but I also have a lot of very random ones as well. Because, guys, sometimes I'm just like everybody else. I queue up the deck I want to play, and I just hit quick join. And wherever I land, that's where I land. I just try to have fun with it. So I'm going to swing for 5. And, okay, this is the combo me and Ricky were talking about. You swing 5 into Blackbeard or Marshall D. Teach, whatever, going first. If you swing first into them, they're probably going to take it because of the nature of the leader's effect. So, boom, he just went to 4 life. Then you play out the 3-cost Tropical Torment if you have it on curve like that. It is so disastrous for them at that point. They're down to 3 life. They did not get to draw that last card. It was a Lafitte, and now he's on 3 life. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what he chooses to do here. Now, he does have a grip of cards here. He has 8 cards in hand. Let's see what he chooses to do with this. I'm going to play out a Vasco shot. Very wise against me, I have to say. You know, this is an aggressive list. Okay, but we get a trigger, and we are going to slam it down. I think that was a mistake. Let me just say that. So what I was debating was like, okay, I might want to play out the Morley because he'll be unblockable. But Morley is such an easy target to KO, even for Blackbeard, who doesn't run like the craziest KO. He's a 3-cost character. So, excuse me. The Sanji's not much better, but I do think the Sanji is still better because he has a 1K counter. That's it. Like, if he needs to get rid of a 4-cost character, he will. You know, these Blackbeard decks are running, what's it called? Liberation? Or no, it's running Black Hole and Shigan Finger Pistol. So you have to, you know, be really careful with that. Okay, but I do think that was a play mistake. I should have just tossed the Morley, in my personal opinion, and kept the counter. So it is what it is. Hey, that's why we do these, so we can learn. And here we go. So what do we do next? It looks like I think we're going to go swing 7, swing 8, guys. We're just going to try to punch this dude in the face just as hard as we can. That's the idea here. So he blocked the first hit, takes the second one. He's down to 2 life, but guess what? If he attacks into me, well, unless it has Banish, unless he plays out that Katarina Devon and he gets Banish on it, I'm going to get these cards right back into play. And that is exactly what happened right there. And now let's see what happens. So I do need to start putting on the pressure, like with the Luffy here. I need to start that cycle. He's going to block, but I don't care at all. I'm going face, not at the blocker. He takes that, pushing this, swings 7, and now that's going to be a 7,000 power Sanji. Some people may have tried to do it the other way around, but I don't think you could actually, never mind, because you had to, I could only do it in that way because of the way the Dawn was. Okay, so here we go. They play out a Burgess. They're going to use the leader effect to fill up the trash. They're going to use Lafitte here. They're going to do some searching. But here's the thing. What is he going to do? He swings in for 8 with Banish. I don't care at all. He attacks in. Okay, that is risky. I probably should have taken that and risked getting a trigger. Okay, I probably should have done that. So we're going to swing for 5. Right here, guys, it's just all in. Yeah, whoops. I fumbled the Dawn there. We're going to swing for 14. He would have to have all 2K counters, specifically all 2K counters, to get out of a 14 attack as a 5K leader with only 5 cards in hand. Right, so 14K, think about it. So 5 goes to 7, 9, 10, 11, 15. Wait, hang on. 7, 9, 11, 13, 15. There we go, math. Okay, excellent, we got there. Okay, we got one more game of this aggro version, and let me tell you right now, guys, Red Yellow Sabo seems very good against Blackbeard. Every version I've played against Blackbeard, Sabo just eats him up. It is brutal. The games don't really feel that close. Sometimes if they get the perfect pull and good triggers, it feels close. But that, that's, I guess they have to win sometimes, right? They have to get a few wins in. Okay, so here we go. This is against Nico Robin. Nico Robin is one of those decks that's like probably on the cusp of 2, like maybe 2.5, tier 2, tier 2.5. But I think in OP10 it will move up to tier 2 for sure if it wasn't already, and maybe into 1.5 territory. So here we go. They attack in. I let them have it. I swing 6. They give me a 2K. I'm going to play out the Kika Nojo. They play out the Nico Robin. Seems good, guys. This is a very blistering fast start from our Nico Robin player. We're going to 2K counter out of this, and we got to see how we can get around this. We're going to go in for 7. I can life this card. Well, potentially. Let's see what happens here. Does he have a trigger? I think we're waiting. No trigger. We're going to swing in for 7, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the Kid and Killer back to life, and then I'm swinging for 7 more. So I basically swung 7, 7, 7, gained a life. I have an 8,000 power body on the board that can gain a life if they KO it, and yeah, we're going about things that way. But this was dangerous putting Kid and Killer there. So I just lost my rush card, less than ideal. But if he attacks in, he has to be very, very careful because I'm running triggers. So he goes 10 into 8, which is a very wise decision. I could have aggressively countered out, but he had more attacks coming in. So I just go ahead and let it go. I do practice a little bit of restraint there. And here we go. So we're going to have to figure this out. What do you do in this situation? I do think we have to go for the board a little bit, at least get the blocker out of the way, or at least get a character out of the way. So they're going to choose to 0 cost 3K, so they got out of it scot-free there, So I slammed down a double Morley, and I'm basically bluffing my opponent right now. I'm saying, hey, if you go all in, I'm going to lose pretty much. But I do have 4K counter in hand and anything coming out of life. They go ahead and remove my character, so they're going to swing 7 with Banish. So we're going to get out of that attack. We're not going to take that one. We'll take the others. Okay, beautiful. We get Inarashi. That can pop a character based off my opponent's life, so it can't pop anything right now. And Shirahoshi, you don't want to pop anyway. Okay, so this is an interesting decision we have to make here. We do have a Kid and Killer in hand for some major explosivity here. We can get really explosive here. So we're going to go in for 7. And then let's see what we do from here. So they go ahead and give me a blocker. So now, this is a tough call. I don't actually know the best call here. I probably should have tried to go all in on just the 2 bodies here. But when that went through, it's like, okay, well, wait a minute. So they go ahead and do they pop my character or something. But it's like, wait, they can't get out of this, can they? So if I swing for 7... what is he going to do? He gives me a 1 cost 3K. Well, now I just play this guy out and swing for 9. So, like, I guess technically I probably should have gone all in there, just put 6 on instead of just the, excuse me, it would be 2 plus 6. It would be 2 plus 6. So 8 plus 5, that would have been like a 13K attack. They're at 5. If they could have gotten off a Gum Gum Giant, they would go to 9. And then if they had 2 2Ks, they'd go to 13. Yeah, I think that should have probably been what I did, but this way worked out fine as well. And I ended up getting a 1 cost 3K out of their hand with the 7K attack, and we finished it up with a 9K. So good stuff. So that's the aggro version, guys. We will talk more about this at the end of the video. It is hyper aggressive. These are fast games, tons and tons of triggers and rush cards. faces the place, right? Okay, next up we do have, let's go ahead and head over to the, now this is my version of the Red Yellow Sabo Pure Revo list, but it has a modification on it. This is the hybrid list I showed off. So this, again, this would be an example of like taking the base, which was a Pure Revo list, and kind of changing it into my own feel, my own theme that has a little bit of mid-range or control aspects in there. But this is definitely just a mid-range list with some removal. That's about all it is. So turn 1, Bello Betty. We're going second. We're going against Bello Betty, which is a pretty decent deck right now. Bello Betty is no joke. We counter out of the first hit. We take the second one. We're going to go 2 into 2. Does he want to give this to me? If he wants to give me a counter, I'll love to take that and run it over with my leader. He's smarter than that, though. I'm really considering playing out the Karasu, but I think Bello Betty might have been the right call there, the 1-cost Bello Betty. Okay, so now if he attacks into me, I could get the triggers, the Revo Army triggers, before my opponent can. They're going to go 5 into 4. I'm going to take that, and oh, what do you know? Exactly what we were just talking about, because we had 5 life between the both of us after that hit. So here we go. I do have a Nico Robin in my hand, but here's the thing. I'm not trying to play that out just yet, and I was fine with it just not getting any value in this current point of the game. Because I need to deal with that Karasu. The card cannot stay on the board. So we play out the Nami. Nami is such a game changer, guys. Being able to, like, I trashed the Fire Fist, which I have, like, almost no use for currently, to be able to KO a very relevant card on their side of the board. So they're going to play out an Emporio Ivankov, and it looks like they might swing here. But remember, they played out the Ivankov, and they played out the Bello Betty. So they cheat out that with the effect of Ivankov. I'm going to 2K counter out of that one, get to 7. They're going to swing in for 5. I think I should just use I'm trying to remember who they played this turn. I think I should just use the Nico Robin here, honestly. But we'll see what happens. We use a 2K, and we're going to take the 9 no matter what. Okay, and we're fine. So now I can just very aggressively go into the board, and this is a nightmare. Nami changes everything, guys. Nami literally changes everything, because now, watch this. I put into my life, and now that's going to take out 2 attacks next turn, right? So in other words, when they attack through the character, okay, it eats up that attack, but then the trigger is going to allow me to eat up another attack that may not be on, that they haven't swung with yet, okay? So really good stuff there, and I could even potentially draw a card if I get my hand size low enough, but that might not happen. We'll have to see. Okay, so I play out the Ivankov, cheating out the Lindbergh, and I do not swing at life, guys. Respect Bello Betty's triggers, just like Sabo's. I do not swing at life, because if they get 1 extra body from their life, they're going to win the game. It's basically that simple. Okay, they might not. You could play see how your chances are, but I'd rather not, guys. I'd rather just play it the most skill-intensive way and play it, the way that has the, how do I say this? The least gambling style way. I want to try to have as much control as I can over the effects of the match. So they do a minus whatever there to my Karasu. They dropped it way far down. Looks like I might give them a blocker, because I want them to swing in with their characters. Right, that's my logic right here. Because they can't play anything on the left side of their board. The Koala, the Lindbergh, and the other Koala, those came to play this turn. So I go ahead and let it go. I probably should have blocked just to force them into attack in with it. But hey, it is what it is. Let's see what we do here. We're going to play out the Ivankov, cheating out of Morley. My board is stacked, but here's the issue. So is theirs. So we have to find a way to really deal with this. So I swing it for 7. I pop a 3,000 power character. That was really nice. And my best case scenario here would be to try to find a way to, gain a life like I just did. But I probably should have tried to do it with the Karasu, but I don't think I could, plus the Ivankov. It just didn't work out that way. But either way, we're going to swing it for 7. I want to try to get them to use their blocker here if possible, but I might not be able to. They block and give me a 2K counter, so they were trying to bait me to swing in with my character, my Karasu, but we're not doing that. We're not doing that, guys. We're not doing that. But the important part about buffing my Karasu is now he is out of the range of a lot of removal. Like, Lindbergh is not even close to him now. Like, before they could have played out maybe a Karasu to minus 1,000, but now they have to play out a 2-cost Koala to drop my Karasu down in range of Lindbergh removal. Okay, so let's see what happens here. I have 3 life. They only have 5 potential attacks this turn so far. Let's see what they choose to do. They're going to go 8 into face. I think they popped a Bello Betty or something. Actually, they might not have had anything to pop on the board. I don't remember. We're going to take that. We're going to save the 1K counter in hand. They're going to swing in. I'm pretty sure we're going to take this, guys, and then we can just use this to pop the Bello Betty character. We can't pop the koala, unfortunately. Okay, I don't know what I'm reading right now. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. Oh, that's what... Okay, so that was a very technical play there I just pulled off on you guys. Sorry if y'all didn't see what just happened. So I want to draw a card with my with my Nami. So I counter out for 1, okay? That's going to allow me to go down to 4 cards, and then the Nami is going to let me trash another card to go down to 3 so I can draw a card. So that was what happened there. That was calculated. So we get it. We trash that. We pop that. We get another 1K counter to replace it. But I was hoping for maybe a 2K counter. That could have really helped me out. Okay, so now he only has 5 Dawn left. So I think we're just going to take this one. Nice, so now we have 4K counter in hand altogether. We pretty much can't lose at this point because he's already used his leader effect, right? Okay, so we will block and give him a 1K, and then when he swings again, we can give him another 1K, give him like a Nico, Robin maybe. All right, GG. That was a fun one. The real big difference, one thing I've noticed is Red, Yellow, Bello, Betty, as long as you respect their life, that is a very favorable matchup for us Red, Yellow, Sabo players. At least it feels like it to me. Not saying they can't win. I'm just saying it feels very good for us. Okay, I got 2 more of this version. We got a game against Blackbeard here. And then we got a game versus Bonney. And that game was, if I remember correctly, that game was a banger. Those Bonney games go on for a long time, man. They really do because of all the tech going on. But okay, so early on, we're going to play out the Bello Betty, the 1-cost searcher. Huge fan still of the Revo Army version in Sabo. I know a lot of people think that it's better off in Bello Betty. I don't want to say it's worse, but I think it's at least as good in Sabo because Sabo can recycle every single thing that you do with Bello Betty 2, if not 3 times, right? Because you just keep adding it to life and just you can turn it into a late game draw engine later on. Other than the Bello Betty, the 1-cost Bello Betty, of course. So they're just going to pop my card there with a Liberation. I think it's actually called Black Hole. I could be wrong. But I'm just going to swing for 5 and play on my Morley, I guess. Or, oh, no, maybe that was a Shigan Finger Pistol. I don't know what just happened there, guys. I missed it. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to swing in for 5. As usual, they did not use their leader effect. Okay, so that means we're going to drop down the 5-cost Ivankov. Guys, if you're playing Blackbeard, you have to use your leader effect starting on 5 Dawn and forward. But I will say this, if I have access to my 4-cost Ivankov, it won't even matter, right? Which could very well happen. It does happen. Okay, so they go ahead and get rid of my Lindbergh with another 4-cost removal. And they're going to play out the stage. They're going to fix their hand a little bit, trashing Jack. Yeah, I don't think Jack's going to help too much against this, or against my deck. But that Jory Bonney is money against Blackbeard, guys. That Jory Bonney is hot. So they swing in for 6 here. I'm going to 2K counter out. We get a koala. Very nice. We're going to slam down a Bonney, and then we're going to go, looks like we're going to go swing 5, swing 9. Okay, very nice. So we do have 3 Dawn left. We do have 3 Dawn left. We might choose to drop down this Morley. We might drop down the Morley, guys. Okay, they get a Searcher. This is my age, or my era. And let's see, they're up to 11 cards in their trash, so Burgess is, getting pretty big at this point. Okay, I don't know what just happened there. I think they were finishing their search. And it looks like we're actually going to play out the blocker here instead of the Morley. Yeah, I like the Morley better, personally, but if we start getting a loop going with Karasu, it could get ugly. It could get ugly for my opponent. Okay, so I guess the blocker does also allow me to protect the Ivankov. So let's see what they do here. They're on I believe it is an 8 Dawn turn. They're on an 8 Dawn turn. Let's see what they choose to do with this. Okay, just kind of waiting on our opponent at this point, guys. They're deep in the tank. I mean, they're staring down half a board when they have no board. They do have cards in hand. They're going to start off with a top 3 search with their stage. They're going to play out a Stronger here, which is going to be able to -2 cost to one of my characters. So maybe they're going to do a -2 to the Bello, the 3-cost Jory Bonney, and then maybe pop it with a Doc Q. Maybe that's going to be the call here. Just waiting on our opponent to choose who they want. Karasu's another good target. Okay, they're actually going to go for a larger target here. I think going for the Bonney was the right call. I just have to say that. They're going to swing for 6. I'm probably just going to take this. If I counter out, that would be odd because I could get a trigger. Okay, I don't get a trigger. They're going to play out Laboon, -4 more, and then play that out. Okay, very interesting. I guess maybe they thought I won't go for the board or something, and who knows, I could actually go very aggressive this turn because I have Luffy in hand. I have 4 attacks into 2 life. I mean, I could definitely go very aggressive here and eat up their entire hand. But do I need to do that? Right, that becomes the question. Like, why would I even need to do that? At least that's my logic on it. Okay, so we play out that. It looks like we're about to swing into the dock queue here. I think we're going to go in with Jory Bonney. We'll attach, I think it's going to be attach 1 Dawn to Jory Bonney, swing 5 into 0, or just 4 into 0 apparently. And then right here, let's see what they get. They're going to get to draw a card, and then I could just establish another body. But there's definitely a very cool idea here to swing for, yeah, attach 1 Dawn to the Jory Bonney, and then swing for 7 with Karasu, and then basically draw a card, right? Draw 2, trash 1 here if he goes through, or they give me 2 cards from hand. Beautiful. So draw 2, trash 1, we'll trash that guy, we'll life the Karasu, and we'll give plus 2,000 to the Jory Bonney. So now, even if they do attack in, I'm getting a Karasu straight into play. And if they want to try to play out the 10-cost Linlin, or the 10-cost Linlin, if they want to play out the 10-cost Blackbeard, it will come with a punishment. Okay, so here we go. They're going to use that on my Karasu, I'm sure. But is that even the right call right now? I don't know if that's even the right call. They swing in, I get a free Karasu, and now that's just going to be that's going to be the story of the day, right? That's going to be the story here. So let's see what happens. They trash a card. There goes our leader effect for the turn, or not our leader effect, our on-play effects. But guys, I don't have any on-play effects currently that I'm even trying to run. So let's see, we're going to swing for 5. Yeah, right here we're just going to kind of nickel and dime them, right? We're just going to kind of just push them down, get every card out of their hand. We're going to swing in for 7, because guess where that card's going? That card's going right back on top of my life, and they just give up. Yeah, the writing's on the wall, right? Yes, they could block my next attack, but there's also an idea of, actually, no, I was going to say what I could do is I could, you know, play out Luffy and buff him, but he will be blockable. But right here, I think he just kind of knew. I mean, look at my hand, guys. I've got like 10 cards in hand, and what's going to happen is next turn, he has to play out another Blackbeard. He's going to have to play out another Blackbeard next turn, or I just completely run him over, because that Karasu is going to go straight back into my life, buffing the Bonney, and now you can't attack into my Bonney. He would not be able to get rid of my Bonney unless he swung in, you know, for way more than just 5, because it'll be a 6,000 power character. Right, so you'd have to attack him with the other Blackbeard. Well, now I still have, you know, these other attacks coming in, and he doesn't even know I have a rush card in hand. I would just smash him with that as well. So really good stuff there. That was a fun one, and good game to my opponent. But this deck feels very strong against Blackbeard. Every version that I've played of Red Yellow Sabo feels good against Blackbeard. Okay, this game I did accidentally, I almost forgot to record this game, guys. So this is going into turn 2. My turn 1, they went first. Their turn 1, they played out Bonney. My turn 1, I played out Bello Betty. Their turn 2, they swung for 7. I take it. Now we're on my turn 2. I almost forgot to hit record on this game, guys, and that would have been unfortunate because this ended up being a very good game. Okay, speed is 2x. Volume's off. Here we go, guys. I'm going to take a sip of my water, too, while this game gets started. Okay. All right, so I play out the Bonney there. They're going to swing into my Bello Betty. It's fine. No big deal. Right here, I'm going to play out the Nami. I'm probably just going to swing 5 into the, into this Bonney. And they're probably going to rest down my Jory Bonney, which I think is a good play. But they better get rid of it. I have 2, 4, 5, 6K counter in hand if I need all of it. I might not. 6 into 4, we're gonna get out of that, guys. Because remember, if I hit one time with this character, like with the effect, I get to draw 2, trash 1. So we are absolutely going to take that. So Nami, this is the reason that I run Nami still, even in a version that is like 75% Revo Army. Look at these relevant bodies on the board. Okay, I'm gonna swing for 7. They're gonna tap down my. Let's see what they choose. Tap down the Nami. Let's see if he wants to give me the blocker. Giving me the blocker would be a little bit reckless there. Okay, so I'm going to trash a card. That Bonney is going to generate some value this game, guys. I mean, that is, you know, spoiler warning. That card generates value. Oh, they play out another Cavendish. Okay. Not bad. Cavendish is very annoying, but we've already dealt with one of them. We have another Nami in our hand to deal with another one. Yeah, I think we should let this card go. Hey, that Bello Betty in my hand is gold, guys. It just helps me fill out the board and everything. Okay, so here we go. We're on a 10 Dawn turn finally. It's always going to be the same right here, guys. It's always going to be attach 1 here, swing in for 7, give me a response. Give me some type of response. Give me a character. Rest that character, sure, go ahead. And let's see what happens here. I think this is a turn where I can just play out another Nami. I think I need to get rid of that Cavendish. Okay, they do counter out. Okay, well, if that's the case, we're coming in for 7 more. Gives me the blocker. Okay, we're going to play out the Nami. It looks like we're going to have to trash maybe the Nico, Robin, pop that character, push this back to life, and I've got a 7,000 power body on the board. Okay, so they're going to do a search with their Jewelry Bonney. Seems good. They're going to attack in. And guys, that Jewelry Bonney now, it drew 2, trash 1. It took out a body. It is now going to be able to do another draw 2, trash 1. It's just so much value in Red Yellow Sabo. I don't know how else to say it, guys. I just think it's so good. I also, I think I've mentioned this before, guys. I do feel like this is the best version of Red Yellow Sabo in OP09. It's nothing against the control stuff, guys. Notice I'm just playing out Ivankov, play out Betty. I'm just trying to recycle cards, get as much value as possible. But it's not anything about the other versions of the deck, like the control versions and stuff like that, the control and the aggro version. The aggro version would be my second bet, because I think the control in the version in this meta that we're in, I just don't think it's as good, because I mean, think about what other late games look like from other decks, like 10 cost Blackbeards, 10 cost Shanks. I don't want to get anywhere near that stuff, guys. I don't want to get anywhere near it. Okay, so we go ahead and do +2 there. We're going to play out another Ivankov, playing out another Bello Betty. So we're just going up in hand size as opposed to down. And here we go. And we're flooding the board. That's the most important part, is we're always keeping a relevant body on the board. So swing in there. I'm up to 6 life, guys. I'm up to 6 life, and those are relevant triggers. One of them is just a relevant body that I just want back. Yeah, swing 7, you can have it, sure. And now swinging for 5. Okay, I think we are going to take this, because I am trying to get him to attack in with that Cavendish. Very good. We take that. Oh, wait, what was it? It was the... Hang on one second, guys. I missed it. Oh, yeah, swing for 6. And then we use the Nami here to trash a card and pop the Basil Hawkins. I probably should have gotten rid of the Cavendish, to be honest, but oh well. It is what it is. So they're going to swing in for 8 here, so I might actually take this and do a draw 2, trash 1 real quick. Yep, beautiful. Look at these cards in my hand, guys. Like, these cards are insane. Okay, Ivankov for days, guys. Ivankov for days. We'll see what we do here. We'll play out the Ivankov. Beautiful. Probably grab the Koala so I can go -3,000 on the Cavendish. And now I can get a lot of attacks in the Cavendish, at least theoretically. So we'll swing it for 7. He'll probably rest my leader down with his leader effect. That's fine. He has to give me something here. He has to either give me a blocker and a 2K. There's that. Or a blocker and a counter, I was going to say. Or a blocker, or you just straight up give me a blocker, or just tons and tons of, counters, bodies, whatever. Okay, and here we go. Beautiful. So we whittled down his board pretty decently. They're going to play out a Doflamingo. That's a pretty nice card. That new Dofi card's nice. It allows you to go aggressive and defensive, like, simultaneously. It's so much utility, and it's got a 1K counter. So I've got Luffy in here somewhere, guys. I know he's in here somewhere. Okay, so let's see what happens here. So we're going to go 8 into 6. Again, I'm just attacking into him. I'm making him give me cards. I'm not going to give him cards by swinging into his life. Okay, so that is a 5,000 power character. We'll swing 7 into 6. Does he have a 2K as his last card? Of course he does. Of course he does. So we're going to play out the Ivankov. We'll probably snag the Lindbergh so I can start ripping through stuff next turn. So this is kind of his turn right here to try to win the game, to be honest. Like, this is his turn to try to win the game. But I have 2, 4, 6, 8. I have 8,000 power encounter. I have 4 life. If he does go all in this turn, which he's not going to, but if he had gone all in, I would have survived, and I would have eaten his entire board. His entire board would be gone. Okay, well, except that card, because he would stand up, of course. Okay, so he swung in there. I took that. I'm trying to get him to keep attacking. He's smarter than that. My opponent, is definitely much smarter than that. So what we're going to do, I've got a tricky play here for you guys. Okay, so check this out. We're going to play out the Karasu -1 to the... So pause. Hang on. Play out the 4-cost Karasu, -1 to the Joy Bonney. That's now a 0 power character, and I have 2 or less life. Now I'm going to use the Fire Fist, -4,000 to the 6,000 power body over there. Okay, again, I probably should have done the Cavendish, but he has 1 card in hand, and I do know what it is. I don't know if I revealed it or not. So now I can attach 2 Dawn to my Lindbergh, smash for 7 into the, or 8, 7, 8, whatever I need to get into the Cavendish, life it, and then I get 1 more attack. You see what I'm saying? So this is a pretty technical turn here. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to swing for, yeah, I think it's 8 we go for. Here we go, 8 into there, popping that, and now another character's going to be gone here. He taps down my biggest body. That was smart. He's going to give me a Cavendish, a Basil Hawkins instead, and now it's going to be swing 6 into it, but watch this. So he just lets it go, so now I'm going to pass. He's down to a blocker in his life. I have 3 life, and I'm just going to gain life forever and ever and ever, guys. It's just never going to end. Okay, 5 into 5. I can just block here, but I think I might take it. So I could have blocked for a free block there, guys, with my Karasu, but I would rather take it and just have more attacks into this Eustace Kid. And notice I do have a Koala in hand. I was going to go play out Koala, -3,000 power to your character, and it just never ends, guys. It's just non-stop attrition at this point. So really good game. That was a fun one. Okay, so that was the 3 games of the hybrid list. It kind of plays a little more controlling as opposed to hybrid, but that's just kind of the nature of Sabo. Now, we have 3 more games. I think this is the one people have been waiting for the most. This is the control version. We got a game versus Purple Black Luffy, Smoker, and then I think we have one versus Buggy. I did not get the most practice in with this deck, but I'll show you the list afterwards. It's a decent list. I think it's pretty good. But I'm just going to tell you this, guys. It was hard to get the games in with this deck because I feel like it is not as good as it used to be in OP09. In OP08.5. In OP08 and OP08.5. So going to swing it for 5 here. We did go first. We'll play out the Bonney on curve. I love dropping Bonney as soon as I can because it just has so much value. And notice the card we have in our hand. Yep, that's a Nami and another Nami and another Nami. So pretty much anything they play is going to get KO'd. So they use the Black Maria effect to actually ramp Dawn with this leader. That's a very cool interaction at the end of the turn. We're going to play out a Nami here. Probably trash one of the other Namis to get rid of that. Swing in for 5. No trigger. Their turn. They play out another Trafalgar Law. And let's see what they do with this. They still have 6 Dawn left for the turn. And it's nice having answers in your hand, and I think that's why I like Nami so much. It's such a good answer for almost every stage of the game. Because even though it can't take out these huge characters, anything that's 5 cost and under, which there's a lot of those, whether it be a searcher, whether it be a little blocker or what, like most decent blockers in the game are 5 cost and under. In fact, like almost all of them are. I think every blocker is pretty much that. I think Basil Hawkins and maybe like Aramaki are the only big cards, big blockers out of that range. So we play out the Nico Robin there, trashing their life, swing for 6. They're down to 1. I do have a ton of counter power. I've got 2, 4, 6. 8,000 power and counter. I do have 1 life, but let's see what they want to try here. Okay. They're going to play out a Frankie. They're not going to try to rush me down. That was the right call because I was 99% sure I was getting out of that, guys. Okay, so they did trash one of their Gum Gum Giants. They're going to leave 2 Dawn active here. I'll give him a 2K counter for this. So he obviously has another Gum Gum Giant in hand, right? In fact, that means he probably has 2 in hand. I don't think he would just trash one for no reason with that many cards in hand. The card's too valuable. So we're in no rush. We're just going to play the value game where we keep hitting him for 7s, hitting him for 7s, 8s, and 9s and things like that, and we're never going to overextend. That is the goal here. So we're going to swing in for 8. So we swung for 7, and now swing for 8, and now swing for 8, and let's see what he does. He would be very wise to not go down to 0 life because we do have a Monkey D. Luffy in our hand. We have 2 of them, in fact. So right here, he didn't want to use the event. Why? He's at 9 Dawn. So if he uses the event, he would have gone down to 7 Dawn, and he'd go back to 9 Dawn. He would not have his full 10 Dawn play. It is very good to practice restraint with using the new 1-cost purple giant event. I mean, use it when you have to, obviously, but try to, if you can, wait to use it until you're on 10 Dawn, because then, you go back back down to 8 Dawn, okay, then you go back up to 10. It's like perfect in that way. So that's something I would really look out for if you're playing a lot of that, because look at this. That's what he wanted to do this whole time, was play out the new Luffy. Okay, so now they're going to ramp up. They're already back to 6 Dawn. That's crazy after doing that. They're going to swing in there. They're going to get my guy. Again, they could not get through, guys. I just had too much counter power. And my leader was a 6K last turn. Okay, so they're going to swing in for 7 into 5. I probably will take this, but I could counter out as well. It looks like, okay, we'll take that. Yep. I kind of like that more now. The more I think about it, I actually do kind of like that. So we'll go in for 7. If he wants to use the 1 cost event now, he's going to go back down to 5 life. So we're going to come in for 9, and we're going to force him. We're going to force him to use it. Drops or back down to 4 dawn. Excuse me, not 4 life, back down to 4 dawn. Or I thought it would be 3 life, but it's actually 4 life. And here we go. Throw that card back to life. And guys, I have another Luffy in my hand. He will be too scared to attack this turn, I think. Okay, maybe not. So let's see. Well, I don't know what he's going to do with this. He's got 6 dawn left. What is he going to do? He can go to 7 technically with the 10 cost Luffy, but it'll only be 6 active. He's going to play out the Frankie, and here we go. So we're going to swing for 6. He gives me a 2K. He's going to be like, oh, whoops. And now we're coming in for 10. He's going to have to use the event again. And he's got to use a 2K counter to get out of it. Let's see if he has it. 1K, 1K. Okay. All right, well, I'll just push this one to life too. Your turn. And you see where this is going, guys. As soon as he gives me this card back, it's just going to be over. Hey, now we're taking it for sure. Okay, swing for 12. We'll take that too. Plays out a Frankie. He can't attack with the other Frankie, or else I'll pop his the character. He tried to draw some cards there to see what kind of counter power he had. But, guys, it was going to be another action of swing 6 and then swing in for 14 or whatever, or 10 or whatever it ends up being. 5 plus 4. Yeah. So it ends up being like swing 6, swing 10 unblockable, and he had no way to get out of it, so he just conceded. Good game. Really good stuff there. Okay, so that was the first control game, and then we have another one of Smoker here. Okay. I think I have one other. I think I might have 4 control games, believe it or not, guys. I might have one other one. We'll see towards the end. But it's like a pretty random game versus Purple Yellow Robin. Okay, so anyway, we're playing against Smoker here, guys. Smoker is a very strong deck right now. Now, I will say this. Out of all of the different decks that are running black right now, because, guys, there's literally Smoker, Gecko, Lucci, and Blackbeard that are all kind of in a conversation. I think Blackbeard's by far and away the best one, but Smoker's probably around the same tier as Lucci currently in OP09. Maybe not, but it does have that TCG that I can exploit very, very well, and it has all the Navy stuff, you know, pretty good stuff there. So he's playing out the 4 cost. This is an interesting version. They're running the 4 cost Kobe. I don't really like that, to be honest. I like the 3 cost Kobe a lot better, but hey, this person's trying something new. Let's see how it goes. So they're going to pop my Jewelry Bonney there. Very unfortunate. Notice this version's running the 7 cost Newgate, guys. You love to see it. We'll attach that. We'll swing 6 into 4, see if he wants to try to save it. Okay, very smart. And then we're going to swing for 5, see what he gives me, and then we're just going to rest this guy and KO the Brook. Yep. I could have technically pushed the 7 cost guy to my life and make a 7,000 power Nami. There's an argument for that for sure, because look what he does here. He's going to remove that, -2, use this, swing 7 at face. That was a little much. That was a little bit crazy. But hey, it's, you know, people can play however they want to. So we're going to trash the Yasop to get the Lindbergh into play from the trigger, and here we go. So right here, unfortunately I'm gonna have to make an interesting play here, guys. Tell me what you think of this. We got a pretty technical play lined up for you here. So we're gonna swing for 5. Okay. Let's see what he does. So right here, he does counter out with the Suru. So I had a lot of ideas I was going to do there, guys. But what we're going to do is we're going to swing 5, swing 7. We're going to pop the Tashigi, and we're going to life the Rayleigh and swing in for 7 with the Lindbergh. Remember how aggressive he was last turn? If he wants to swing into my life again and give me the Rayleigh, be my guest. Yeah, spoiler warning, I don't think he wants to do that anymore. I think he's going to try to go for the board a little bit more here. The Nico Robin has been very hit or miss for me, just speaking generally now, not just with this deck or this matchup or something. But Nico Robin, it's like sometimes that card is insane. Like if you have good tempo, that card is disgusting. It's why I'm running so many of the 3 I think I'm running 4 Bonnies and 4 Beige in this deck, so I can cheat it out, along with the Crossu if I get the Nico Robin trigger. So we're going to swing for 7 here. We might just be going for lethal, and they see it. They're like, oh, yeah, he figured it out. Because it was going to be swing 7. If that had gone through, it was going to be swing 7 more with the Nami, and then everything else on the leader. So there's just no way out of it. GG, that was a fun one. It turns out I do have one other control game here, guys. I had it, it was not named correctly. Oh, no, excuse me. I do have one more game of control that was named correctly, and then one more that's not. Okay, so we got a game versus Buggy. Buggy has been picking up a little bit of steam, I guess, for... I've been seeing it more on the sim because people can have access to the promo card. And I get it. That promo card's silly. It's very strong. Let me make sure the speed's on 2x. Yeah, we're good. But this version of the deck, guys, I don't care at all about it. Because notice in my hand I've got 5, 5, 6, and 7. And the only 3-cost characters I have in my hand right now are pure utility that I don't want to attack with. So we'll attach one there. I swing for 5. This was very risky. I'm very, very glad this guy countered out. I should not have attacked there. Let me say that right now, guys. But it did pay off. Sometimes you risk it, and, you know, it does pay off. Because I have 2 Gadatsus in my hand. He's going to swing for 5. I'll give him the other Joy Bonney because who cares? And here we go. He is going to play out a Das Bones with the Croc. So watch this, guys. We're going to have a little bit of a change of plans here. We're going to play out the Gadatsu, and we're going to swing in for 5 more. So he counters out again. Guys, this you gotta pay attention to the temperature in the room. You know, you gotta really read the temperature in the room, right? You got to know how to see what's going on. It's like, hey, what if I have another Gadatsu in my hand? But who knows? Maybe he has like a bunch of 6 and 7 cost characters. I have no idea. He's going to swing in for 7. We're going to take that. Plays out a Mihawk, and that has a draw 2 trash one, and it's a blocker. That card's awesome. Okay, well, in that case, we're just going to attack the board for 7. Sound good? We're just going to attack the board for 7. My hand is completely full right now, guys. Completely full. So we're going to push this out here, and then we're going to have another 7K attack. And I think we might have one more 7K attack, guys. Watch this. Okay, Life the Gadatsu. 7 more. Okay, give me your last card or give me the card. Wow, he literally had counter for days. He actually had all the counter. But I do have a 6,000 power character on the board. Okay, he didn't realize that. He must not play against much red, yellow Sabo, which, hey, it happens. Or it might have just been a mistake. Maybe he was trying to get me to use cards. Okay, I'm going to 2K counter out of that every single time. And now what is he going to do? He only has 9 Dawn. So what is he going to... I don't know what he's going to do with it, to be honest. 8 into 6. Okay, I'm going to let him have that. He can have that. And here we go. So I got to keep my Yasop. Watch this, guys. Nice little interaction here for y'all. We're going to swing 7 into 7, -1 to the Mihawk. Pop the Mihawk with the 7-cost Beckman, and we're just going to clear his entire board. We'll put that card back to life because I don't want to be in any jeopardy of losing this game. My hand is still completely stacked. Okay, and I still have a Nico Robin to get rid of cards from his life. And let's see what he chooses to do here. Any 5-cost character he drops here, gone. Like that, Das Bones, he's out of here. Okay, so now, and I drew another Gadatsu. Okay, but it's time to start attacking at this point, I will say that. Let's see what happens here. Play out the Yasov. I think, yeah, swing in for 6. Let's see if we can get some life through. Since I had the other Gadatsu, I'm like, all right, you know what, let's just wait one more time. Hits me with the Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. You know, the other Gadatsu will come in handy if he plays out another character. Okay, now I have a Nami. Now I can swing more aggressively. We're going to play out the Nico Robin to make him lose a life. We're going to swing in for 6. Okay, going to play out the Karasu, and we're going to pass. So, guys, now I'm in firm control of this game. And this guy is probably just throwing away all of his that new promo Buggy card. I think it's like a 5 or 6 cost card. And it makes where your 3 and 4 cost characters cannot attack for both players. But that doesn't matter to me. Nice, we get a trigger. We'll take it every time. And here's it would come in handy here, I guess. But what do you do in this situation? Okay, so he uses his stage. That stage is pretty nice. Allows him to cycle through 2 cards at a time. Very solid. But my board's full. I'm actually threatening lethal next turn. Right, I have 5 attacks into 3 life. He's going to swing in for 5. I don't think I should get greedy here and go for a trigger. They hard cast the Buggy to get rid of my Ben Beckman. Very annoying. But here's where things are going to really get out of control. You see what I'm doing? Life. I'm going straight for it. Not for life. I'm going straight for his board. Because as long as his board is down, he just doesn't have a chance. You know, he just doesn't have a chance against me. He can't deal with it. He just can't deal with it. But we are going to knock him down to 1 life here. I think maybe 0 life. I don't have any rush card, unfortunately. I only run like, I think 3 rush Luffys. So we'll swing for 7. We'll push this card back to life. I think we're going to swing for 7 more. So I have a 6K body, a 7K body, a blocker on the top of my life with a trigger on it. And now I'm just going to play out a Gadatsu and say your turn. Any 5 cost or lower blocker he plays next turn. I've got answers. I don't know what you could do in this situation, guys. I have no idea. And he only has 3 cards in hand. That's the worst part. It's like, okay, 9 into 6. Let him have it. He only has 6 Dawn left. Maybe a Mihawk. Maybe a 6 cost. Jozu. Now, read Jozu very carefully, guys. This is not like Trafalgar Law, the 4 cost law. No, Jozu cannot return himself. Trafalgar Law can. Trafalgar Law can even return himself, but Jozu cannot. So you have to be very careful with that. I think he meant to do that to bounce back, like maybe bounce back Gadatsu and try to counter out aggressively. But you can't do that, guys. Unfortunately, you can't do that. So he's gonna figure that out right here the hard way. He's gonna be like, oh, wait a minute, and I think he just kind of concedes. So GG, that was still a fun game. He did have 2K counters coming on top of his life, so who knows if that interaction could have worked. And he used, well, no, he had already used his stage, didn't he? Yeah, there was no way out of that, guys, because I wouldn't have swung for anything less. I mean, with 2 characters on the board, I wouldn't have swung for anything less than 8. It'd have been like swing 9, swing 11. So good stuff there, or 9, 12, whatever it ended up being. Okay, now I have 1 more game. So that was the 3 games of the certain list, but it looks like this is a version that I had misspelled. Yeah, it's not from the others. This is a Nico Robin game, but it's not the one we saw earlier. At least I don't think it is. Let me see something. Speed 2x. Yeah, because that aggro game was against a purple yellow Robin as well. This is a control. It says control. We'll see about that. We'll see if this is like the same deck we were just running or not. It does look similar, but it's got the Revo Army. It's got more of the Revo Army package in there, I think. But who knows? We'll watch it anyway, right? It's red, yellow, Sabo day. We're just going in on it. Okay, so they swing in. I did lose a new gate, it looks like, from the top of my life because I swung in for like 8 or 9 or something. I swing in for 5. They give me a 1K counter because of the they didn't want me to draw 2 trash 1. They're going to swing for 9. I'm just going to take these guys. He does ramp a Dawn. It's a Morley. Seems good. And now, okay, we'll swing for 5. We're just going to keep, you know, I just call it nickeling and diming people, man. Just taking every penny from them. Nice. It goes through. Draw 2, trash 1. We do take those. I trash the Lindbergh. I don't think that's going to come in too handy. We'll swing for 5 more. He takes that. Gets a trigger. Okay, he gets a trigger. So now instead of playing out the Ivankov, I do have to remove that body because I don't want to lose from like a rush card or something like that. All right. Let's see what he does here. 5. Okay, we're not going to give him the 5K. We're not going to give him the 5K attack with Banish. Not happening, buddy. So he has 8 Dawn left. Okay, plays out the Sanji. Dawn -1. Tap down the Nami. Maybe he'll go 7 or 8 into Nami. He should go 7 into the Bonney. He should go 8 into the Bonney. If he goes 7 into Bonney, I'm going to go 2K, 2K. Yep, had a feeling. Okay, yeah, we're gonna give a 2K and a 2K here. I think, yeah, give him the Kuma. I don't need that right now. And here we go. I feel like at that moment right there, everything flipped. So there's a play right here. Pause. So I think I should have not telegraphed what I just did there. What I think I should have done was swing for 5. So attach 1 Dawn to Jory Bonney. Swing for 5 with the Nami. He'll probably 1K counter out of that, so he'll go down to 4 cards in hand. Then I could try to do something here with the Koala going into the Sanji. I think it's smart to do that. It's like it's not a, how do I say this? Do things in the correct sequencing so your opponent has as little information as possible. That's the best way I can explain it. I know that sounds like common sense, guys, but it's not easy to always. It's not always easy to pull off. Okay, he's going to Gum Giant, going back to Dawn. He's down to 5 Dawn, so he'll be up to 7 next turn. It's going to be another 6, guys. I mean, I don't know what he thinks he's going to do here. All right, so then we're going to swing in for 5. He counters out. We're going to play out the Karasu, and we're going to pass. I feel like my board's pretty safe here because he only has 7 Dawn, like I was saying. He's going to Jureshi. He's going to do a top 5 search and draw 2. Top 5 search, draw 2 trigger cards with an event. Swinging in for 5 here. I do have a 2K counter. He has 4 Dawn left. What is he going to do here? He is going to ramp his Dawn back, by the way. Looks like I'm thinking about using Karasu because I feel like they're going to swing for 4 into my Bello Betty. Or I keep doing that. Into my Jory Bonney. We give him a 2K counter. Okay, well, this is less than ideal for my opponent. So we clean that up. We're going to gain a life every turn, too, guys. We're going to gain a life every turn. This time, we're going to gain a life with the Bonney. So it's going to be another draw 2 trash one here into another draw 2 trash one whenever that happens. It's a total, it's insanity. So swing for 7. Let's see if they get a trigger. They do get a trigger, and they pop my Nami because they were in fear of losing the game. I wasn't even going to go for game, guys. So now we're going to play out the this person. We do whiff the search. It happens. We're going to push the Nami, or the Bonney. Looks like we might not. I think I should push the Bonney into life, personally. Yep, and then we'll go plus 2,000 on the Karasu. Yep, because if they want to attack into the Bella Betty, who cares, right? But I was trying to do a little bit of math as well in case they had the 9-cost Yamato. And I was like, man, if they have 9-cost Yamato... Okay, they might. Well, actually now, see. So pause. So that was a play mistake. So I should have taken that, even though I wouldn't get to draw 2 trash one. I should have just taken that because now they can't get rid of my Karasu. So again, that was what took me so long to make that decision before. But it ended up being, I don't know. It depends. They popped the wrong target, by the way. I don't think they should have popped the Koala. Maybe, I guess they were thinking I wouldn't swing with the blocker. It was less likely for me to swing with the blocker, I guess. Okay, well, yep, now it's a lot less likely for me to swing with that blocker. We're going to play out this this Ivankov here. We're just going to beat him down, guys. I think that's how this is going to go. So we're going to swing in for 9. This should go through. It would take every card in their hand with only 3 cards if they had a 2K, 2K, 1K. And now what? Okay, they're going to swing in for 5. We're going to let the card go because I want to draw 2 trash one with the Jory Bonney, right? That's where I'm at right now. But how is he going to survive here? That's the question. He needs to put down a blocker and gain a life. Or put down multiple blockers or remove my board. He does gain a life. We're going to go in for 9. I'm saying, okay, use the Gum Giant Gavel right now, dude. You're going to have to use it right now. Let's see what he has. Just waiting on our opponent here. 2, 2, 1, or whatever that was. Okay. So now... Remember, he only has 1 card in hand, so he can't even use Gum Giant because you have to trash a card first in order to fulfill the cost. Okay, so I play out the Betty here. And again, I'm just not in any rush to try to win. I'm not even going all in or anything. Hang on, push that back. Yep. So we'll swing for 7. That's immediately going to get out of that. And then we'll swing for 9, see if he has it. He doesn't. He did have a rush ace, which is scary. But guys, next turn, if he had swung for 5 first, I'm going to know what's going on, right? Oh, you're going to swing for 5 or 6? That means you're going to play a 9 or a 10 cost. I would just 1K counter out of the 5K. And then we can just run him over. Because I have a Bello Betty that's left. And I have the Kuma. His next best bet would have just been to, yeah, it just doesn't matter, right? Because he can play out the Shirahoshi, but it doesn't matter. He'd have 1 card left in hand after swinging everything into my face. And, by the way, I have a Karasu at the bottom of my life. If you can see, I don't know if you guys can see that with the resolution or not, but I have a Karasu at the bottom of my life coming into play as a blocker, and I still have that Jory Bonney second from the bottom to draw 2 trash one. All right, good stuff. That was a lot of fun. Let's wrap it up now, guys. Let's move over to the deck list again. We'll check these out one more time. Okay, so this was the pure Revo list I did talk about. I do have it listed on the Discord. Just an incredibly solid mid-range list. I have to say, guys, this list performs well. I will have it linked in the comments section below, a video of me going over this exact deck list. And guys, it kind of just pumps. I don't know how else to say it. The list feels strong. However, I will say this, it did naturally evolve for me into a red-yellow Sabo 75-25 deck, where it's like, okay, instead of running just the Kumas for removal, I'll just run straight-up real removal there. Instead of trying to mess around with like the 5-cost, the 6-cost Koala and the 7-cost Sabo, I'm actually just going to run other things there, like the Jory Bonney for card draw, like the Nico Robin. And I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but guys, this Jory Bonney, I feel like it got like 4 cards in value every single time, at least. Just insane value on this card. Nico Robin had its moments where it really shined. Nami, always good. These 2 cards are just always good. I don't know how else to say it. I feel like in every matchup, these cards are good. Because even if you are playing against Blackbeard, and I mean, you still have a 5-cost 5K body, and Jory Bonney doesn't care if they're playing Blackbeard, right? And the fact that Nami is a 5-cost body means they have to invest extra just to get rid of her. They can't just use, well, I guess they can use Shigan Finger Pistol. Shigan Finger Pistol can hit a 5 cost, but still, it's still a very powerful card. It's also very good into blue Dofi. For those who are wondering, this card by itself practically helps you win the Dofi matchup. But yeah, this is the red-yellow Sabo 75-25 hybrid list I've been working on, where it's somewhere in between mid-range and control. So, again, going back to the main theme of today, if you're interested in helping out with this project we're on now, you can do this. Like, you can say something's in between two of the three main categories. Just make sure you say that in your comments and kind of explain that, if you don't mind, for the people who are interested in helping out. But yeah, here's the red yellow Sabo 75-25 list. Very straightforward. This is what I was running for the hybrid list for the Revo games we saw. It was the middle 3 games we saw. Now, for the first 3 games we saw, that one was called Red Yellow Sabo Rage Inducer. Yeah, sounds about right, right? So this was the one for the first 3 games we saw, the aggro version. This is it. And again, this is not the exact version that my buddy Ricky is running, but I saw him running a list that was similar. I got inspiration from it, and I'm like, dude. And plus, he also volunteered to help out with, basically recording all of his information down, like what we were talking about on Discord, and that way we'll have access to all that whenever he sees it and whenever he posts it. But yeah, this list was inspired by his guys. This Inarashi, check this out, guys. 4 Dawn, 5,000 power, 1k counter. Dawn ×2 when attacking, trash a card from your hand. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost equal to or less than the number of your opponent's current life. So, like, it's like a miniature version of Lindbergh. They kind of work around the same way. They work roughly the same, but they're just solid. In this one, though, so Lindbergh, even though his effect is probably just stronger on average, like it's just, because this goes off of your opponent's life cards, and we're trying to get... This is how aggressive we are with this deck, right? So this is probably only going to hit like a 1 or 2 cost character, but Lindbergh just kind of always hits a 3,000 power or less character. And if you want to run, instead of running this Sanji, which is supposed to help in the Nami matchup, if you just want to run something else here, like another 2k counter, you absolutely can, right? You can run any other 2k counter here you want to, like Koala, for example, because Koala can, reduce power and hit even more with Lindbergh. However, the thing about Lindbergh is a little bit stronger, in my personal opinion, than Inarashi overall, because his trigger is unconditional. You trash a card, you get a character. It is that dry. It's that cut and paste. It's that easy. Really good stuff there. The more easy. Notice the triggers, guys. I am running 2 Parasparrows because there's actually a few decent targets I can search up. There's not a lot of them, but I can get Smoothie, I can get Cracker, and I can get the Tropical Torment. So there are 12 targets, technically 13 if I run, because he can search up himself. So he can even get himself here. That's decent as well. So there's like 13 targets. It's a top 3 KO search to potentially replace itself. But the main thing is it's a trigger that allows you to play this card. But these conditional triggers are very annoying. All of these 3 right here, guys, the Inarashi, the Kikinojo, and the Kuma, they have endless potential when you're down to a certain life threshold. But here's the idea behind this deck, at least a lot of it, is you just whittle them down and you run them over with Goldie Roger. Now, I did not even get to see Goldie Roger in the 3 games that I showed off. Like, he just never showed up, I think, until the very end. I think he might have been in 1 game. I can't even remember. Anyway, he's a great finisher. But here's the thing. You just want to go hyper-aggressive and take life aggressively, and then you want to get a card like Satori or a card like Charlotte Smoothie or Sanji or Parasparrow or Lindbergh or Morley or any of these other cards if you can into play, especially Charlotte Cracker if you're going against a 5-life leader. So it's very good, at just flooding the board very consistently from life. And then that's where Sabo shines. Because if I can get let's just say Satori. It doesn't even have to be one of the other high roll examples. Let's just say I get a Satori down from their first attack. Well, guess what? Next turn now, I'm actually, let's just say I'm on a 5 Dawn turn. Like, say I went first and everything, right? If I'm on a 5 Dawn turn, in fact, I think I showed this off in the game. It's going to be, okay, swing 7 at your face with my Satori, swing 8 at your face with my leader. So I'm just completely brutalizing them, right? And that's the thing. Once you can start putting that card back to the top of your life, they're in a lot of trouble. They are in a lot of trouble. So really good stuff here. Okay, so that was the aggro deck. We looked at the mid-range control hybrid version. We looked at the pure Revo version. And now let's look at the control version. I think, let me see, I can't remember exactly what I called this one. Give me just a second, guys, to find it. I think I called it Peak 9X or something like that. Yeah, I think this is it. If this isn't the exact list, guys, it's very similar to what you see here. I don't remember if this is the exact one, but hey, that's the important part about doing this, guys, is y'all are going to have the exact list. Here's why it gets hard for me. Look at this, guys. This is how many red, yellow Sabo lists I have. So starting with right here, like right where it says red, yellow Animal House, and then watch this going down. I'm just going to drag it. This is how many versions of Sabo that I'm running right now, guys. Almost there, right there. It's probably at least 50 red, yellow Sabo decks. And that's why I get a little bit lost in mine. But hey, if you decide to like do this challenge, you know, or you know, I don't want to call it a challenge. It's more like a community project. If you want to be a part of this project, just name it something you will not forget. You know, like me over here trying to find all these different versions, and then you won't have any problems with it. But yeah. All right, that's really about it, guys. Only an hour and 20 minutes for this red, yellow Sabo video. I know I'm really kind of cutting it short today. I usually have an hour and 30 minutes at 2-hour-long videos with red, yellow Sabo. But we will bring up the Discord one more time here, guys. Again, check this out. Let's see, there might be some people. No one else has responded since I first put it up. But this has got all the information on here. If you want to know what matchups you should be looking for and queuing into specifically. Don't forget to record all these different things for each matchup. It sounds like a lot, but don't be overwhelmed. At the end, this is what it looks like. Like we said, again, this is just an example. These matchups did not happen. Do not take anything from this example. This is just meant to be an example that I completely made up every single one of these on the spot, just to give people an idea of how it would look. So, like, for example, let's say you get 10 games done, okay? Let's say you get 10 games done, and let's say, 3 versus Shanks, 3 Blackbeard, 3 Luffy, and, maybe 1 Dofi instead of Katakuri or something, whatever the case is. Okay, well, submit this information, and then you can change to another deck. You know what I mean? If you're like, okay, I want to make some revisions, perfect. Submit what you have up front. But let me say this. I wouldn't submit anything like under 10 results. At least give a deck at least 10 tries. You know what I mean? As a copy-paste deck, going against like all these tough matchups, and then submit what you have and be like, okay, wasn't really feeling this, gonna move to this, right? And again, notice at the very top here, guys, screenshot of the deck list, so that way we can see it. Please don't like copy paste the deck list. Just give us a screenshot, just give us a picture, or even just say, hey, I'm running the exact version right here, or this exact version, of this blah blah blah, whatever up here, or something else someone else posts, right? Because people have a lot of different versions of red, yellow Sabo. They're like, hey, I'm running Ricky G's version, or hey, I'm running this person's version, and that's fine. So that just so we know what we're looking at, okay? And so we know how each version is doing, and then eventually what I'm gonna, as people pour in the results, let me say this. So why are we doing all this? What's the point? As these results come in, I'm going to be compiling all of them. I'm going to be the one that people can do it too if they want to for their own information. But at the end of probably about 1 or 2 months of results, assuming people even want to help with this, who knows, people might not even want to help me with this. But if for anyone who does help, and of course I'll be submitting my own results as well, we are going to, I'm going to combine all of the information and say what the overall win-loss ratio was for all the red, yellow Sabo decks. And then I'm going to try to break it down into more detail from there, showing how well each matchup did, going first, going second, things like that. I don't want it to be anything too fancy. It's probably just going to be a straight up Excel spreadsheet style of compilation or, compiled data. But hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully it helps somebody. And hopefully it shows us which version of the deck will be the best one. Because now, just to summarize, guys, let me say this. I don't think the control version is as good as it used to be. It's just simply not strong enough in the late game compared to someone dropping 10 cost Blackbeard into Blackbeard into Blackbeard, or 10 cost Shanks into Rayleigh into Dragon, or whatever. People's late games are just so insane right now. I just don't think we have it. I don't think we can keep up without having our very own deck built around it like they did with the OP09 leaders. So the control version, I'm going to warn people. I do hope someone tries this, because I do think it's still a very good version. I just think it will struggle the most against the best meta decks. And that's kind of the thing with this deck. It's almost like a gatekeeper version where I feel like this deck can beat almost any deck outside of the ones that matter the most, the meta ones, right? But hey, it is what it is. And Katakuri, of course, that's always a struggle. This version, though, I think has a lot of promise. This Trigger Rush Aggro version, very, very strong, guys. Again, I have nothing but good things to say about this. And the best part about this is, and the best part about being a part of a community, is when I was going to go into today's video, I was going to be like, hey, guys, I only have a mid-range, and a control version for you guys to check out. I did not even have an aggro deck ready, but I hopped on, like, notice there's someone in the voice channel right now, you know, some random person's in the voice channel. Well, I noticed my buddy was in there, my buddy Ricky. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? What you up to? Just randomly. I think it was like, you know, it was like super late. I think it was like 1 or 2 in the morning. He goes, I'm trying out this new Sabo deck I've been working on. I've got some results for you. I'm like, what? Okay, let's check it out. And this was like I said, this is not his exact version, but I drew a lot of inspiration from his version. And I was like, I can't believe how strong this deck is. Like, it was just so fun to play as well. It was just so fun to play. Okay, and then last but not least, of course, the mid-range. I think these two, the Trigger Rush version and the mid-range Tempo version, I do think they are the best. I do think, and by the way, this says 50 out of 51 because I had to take the leader out to fit it all in one line perfectly. You guys know I try to keep everything nice and orderly when I do this. But anyway, this version, guys, and the Trigger Rush version, I think they have the most potential. I mean, that's just me. That's just from my play testing in OP09. You guys tell me what y'all come up with. That's the whole point of doing this, right? That's the whole point of doing this community project. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. If you have any questions, either ask on there or ask on the Discord. Again, the link to the Discord is in my channel bio or whatever it's called, like the channel description. Not the general description of the video, but my channel description. So it should be in there if you need that, if you're not already on here. And that's it, guys. All right, we're done. I'm done yapping. That's enough. Okay, let me go ahead and get up the patron page here, or excuse me, the playmat page. Big shout out to everybody who helps me, guys, who is trying to support the channel. Whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, submitting data like this, guys. These community projects are a blast. I love seeing all the information roll in. I'm a numbers guy, so I do love seeing the numbers come in and seeing the wins and losses, see what we need to tech against and see what we need help with. It's so great. It's so wonderful. So big shout out to everybody who's helping in those ways. Big shout out to all the VV Pirates playmat supporters. I hope you guys are enjoying your playmat. And then last but not least, guys, the patrons. Thank y'all so much just for donating, just trying to help me out, just trying to keep the dream alive. Okay. All right, we're done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe if you have not already. And until next time, guys, peace.